Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about emotions. It's a fascinating topic, how emotion linked to the stress. So literally stress management is impossible if you're not going to understand our emotions. So understanding emotions is a key to stress management. So why emotions matter to stress? Emotions is the way how we cope with stress. With different words, today's emotional challenges are shaped by ancient and very old biology, the cultural shift of threats. And they actually bring in these emotions, and usually negative emotions. They build in like block. We're not born with them. So none of us are born with emotions, none of them. They build them one by one. They can consciously grow them, they can explore them, they can shape them, they can change them, they can get resilient to some emotions. And more importantly, we need to learn how we recognize our emotions. So what are they? What are these emotions? First of all, there is no definition of emotions exist. The people and scientists and philosophers still didn't agree what exactly emotions are. But it's the complex of psychological and physiological responses to internal, our organism, our metabolism, and external stimulus. So everything that's going to give us some sort of information, irritation, brain receives and given response. So of course, there might be thoughts, there might be feelings, there are behavior and our bodily response. Even now, I'm using my hands to explain you that's some sort of my own emotions, the way how I'm trying to look in the camera. I use my hands, I use my shoulders, I have specific posture, all that my emotions about the topic I'm talking now. So they express emotion differently, all of us. However, there's no one standard how we're going to express them, but we have six basic emotions. 5 of them negative, 1 positive, and 1 neutral. So this means majority experience one. And we all, doesn't matter of our culture, religion, where we're born, there is no difference between us. We all have these 6 emotions. Is it happiness? The only one positive emotions all of us have is feeling happy. Sadness, negative. They all experience sadness. Fear, we all experience fear. Anger, they all experience anger. Disgust and surprise. Surprise is a neutral emotion, so it might be positive, it might be negative. So we don't know what emotions will be exactly for you. So that's why it might be positive, might be negative. So this means nearly around 70% of the emotion we all experience, universal to all human beings, are, I would say, quite negative. And only one. So it's quite hard for one emotion, happiness, overwhelmed, or the negative emotions. So this means negative emotions, we are designed to experience negative emotions, and through the life, they go through learning how we can manage these emotions. So if you want to learn more about emotions, about non-verbal communication, I recommend you, of course, to read. And Paul Ekman will be #1 writer. You can choose any books you like about lies, about emotions. He, I would say, the founder of emotional research, and his books just absolutely fascinating. So if you want to learn, I highly recommend. For, I would say, all of us need to learn, mainly living in modern world. And today I'm going to explain you why. So we just covered 6 basic emotions. Their priority go to negative emotions. And now we're going to talk about another 7 emotions that we have. And these emotions is very hard to detect because they really depend on our culture, on language, on our so many different factors involved, how we're going to express these emotions. And it's a pride, it's a shame, it's a guilt, it's embarrassment, that's love, that's awe, and jealousy. So we don't have definitions of such feelings. They experience them, they naming them, but we can't explain them with words. It's very hard as well to explain what is love for you, what is love for me. What's love for me doesn't mean that's mean love for you. And the way how I perceive love will be different from you, and they all will be different. So that we need to understand these emotions, they're different. There's a culture involved. There is a language involved. There's social norms or your religion involved. Emerge later development, like a basic emotions from your family, what your mother, what your father and the caregivers, your environment where you're growing up, or you're based right now. So all that actually shaping our emotions. Body language and emotional expression. So as you even watching me, I quite emotional person, number one. How we can say I actually more in real life and really different comparison to videos. People with emotions, they are quite, they're quite vivid, they're quite alive. But for the second part, the more person controlling himself and more knowledge and more calmness, actually they have to control their own emotions. So that's why for one part, I'm not hiding myself. I'm showing who I am for you to be easy to connect or understand me and learn body language and emotions in general. So emotions speak without words. So even now you're watching me, you might catch some information. It's absolutely not the same when you meet me in real life or in person. Body language and facial expressions are not verbal emotional language, and modern cameras, filters, and of course aesthetic procedures, they're masking our emotions, and it's much harder for us to read another person's emotions, because when you can receive an information as well, we're masking as much as we can to look prettier, to be more symmetric, to have to increase our attractiveness. And of course it's not the same. Different words. Video and audio information you see now is not the same as alive. Smiling. Facial, very important. So I'm smiling now. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. I like my topics. My topic we're going to talk about today. I love my new job. I'm quite happy in general of my life. So yeah, I'm smiling probably because of happiness. If I'll be absolutely depressed or when I'm not in the mood, I can't even record and make some lectures or being alive or talk to someone. So person getting a little bit concerned, they get really reserved and less talkative. So I'm smiling. Probably, yeah, I would say I'm happy. Frowning and tears, there is a sign of sadness. So not really talkative, then you're very sad. Yeah, so it's another side of somebody not talkative and some person who's stepping back a little bit or shy. They're all overwhelmed by sadness and a little bit negative emotions. Raising eyebrows, this is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to be surprised, positively and negatively. Surprise might be as a neutral emotions, really depending on the context, depends on the situation. Flared nostrils and clenched fist, this anger. So we guess when you get angry, nostrils get enlarged, is adrenaline surges, fight or flight response, and the person is ready for action, for they need a breathing, and the breathing changes and nostrils getting enlarged. So that is probably quite a sign of anger. I know probably we don't really look too much in nostrils, but if you notice nostrils get enlarged, the person squeezing their hands, that is severe anger. But of course, it's not one of a sign of anger. So if you notice this, all these singles is building the trust, and this is a knowledge information that we receive non-verbally. So the person might say you something, on the front of you, but behave in body language, give absolutely different. I recommend you maybe search some on Instagram or on TikTok. There is some very good body language specialists who will teach you step by step how to understand, how to read these emotions, together with my lectures, neuroscience, and your own, I would say, observations from your loved ones or from your colleagues from work will help you, first of all, to manage your own stress, because all around us and us is extra information to control ourselves and our own emotions, because unconsciously you don't see how these people and their emotions, verbal, non-verbal, body language, voice, tone, affecting you and your well-being. So, the universal code, we speak emotion without words. Yes. So it's very important to understand that 93% of emotional communication is non-verbal. So is that important to learn this language? Because we become alien to our own emotions. They're not spending time that much as we did even 50 and 70 or 100. We're not talking about 200 and 300 years ago. They are losing this language ability because we're watching online at all time, full of filters, full of enhancement of image, of the color, of the voice, of a sound, so many editing. So every single platform, they're talking about YouTube, we're talking about Instagram, TikTok, they all have different enhancements. So they're different. Why? Because it's getting more agreeable, but they're losing this connection. Absolutely losing. So you need to understand me here, what you're watching now, and me in real life is absolutely different experiences. If you meet me in real life, they understand. So 93% is not verbal and 7% only is verbal with different words. 100%, everything I'm going to tell you, or maybe not me because more educational, but if you meet your friends or romantic partner or anyone else, you communicate distantly via emails or via text messages or social media platform, the truth, the emotional truth is only 7% because we have these social norms. We have so many different things we do follow, and the truth get lost. As the truth get lost, our brain get lost and they get even more stressed because a lot of misleading information. So if you want really to get distressed, please meet in person. Talk about stressful moment in person. Paying attention to body language, paying attention to the voice, paying attention to what you experience. So 55% of this 93% of nonverbal is facial expressions and body. So it's my posture, my shoulders, my hands, the way how I sit, the way how I talk, and 38% is through the tone of the voice. So it's my voice. Did you notice that? Do that research or ask your partner or your friend to talk about the loved one. It's my beloved pet, what they funniest things they've done, or about the children, or about romantic partner they're so in love, somebody very special, and see how the voice change, the timbre, they're getting slower, we're getting faster, the sparkle in the eyes, and you will see this moment of the change. And then ask about somebody, discuss the person, have a lot of distress, a lot of anger, a lot of unresolved conflicts, and see how the voice changes, how the mimics changes, and just observe and get connected to your loved one, to your friend, to your close person, because this connection is priceless, and they can't get it from the distance. They can't. So we need to spend the time. And this is importance of, and the dangerous modern world, that we're losing ability of such communication. We're losing this 93% of information we all need so much. So gesture, posture, micro expressions, all that matter. And you can say so much about the person, and you can say so much even about yourself, and you record the video and you see yourself as respond. Well, not the same, of course, because in real life we're still different. So verbal language via emotional truth. And sadly here is lies, because words are literally lies. They're only 7% of truth in the words then we are talking. Verbal language can manipulate, deceive, and mask true feelings, And this is the modern reality, believing in the lies, the supporting lies and the taking lies as reality. That's why the stress only growing, not get reduced. Nonverbal signals often reveal genuine emotional states. So you need to don't listen to words, assume the actions. Yeah, what people say, what do they do? So we have to filter that very nicely. They need to understand, okay, this is just a words, meaning modern word is, I would say, the research was done in the 1970s. Yeah, when we start talking about this percentage, I think nowadays words and everything we're texting to each other is far away even from this 7%. So forced smile and genuine smile. So it's very easy to identify. The forced smile is a smile when we don't see the wrinkles. So now I'm trying to laugh. Of course, I force this laugh, and you see wrinkles around the eyes. And now I'm trying to smile. You don't see these lines, or they're limited. So trying to identify if a person is truly happy, genuinely happy, or they force their smile, being, I would say, professional, or they're trying to make impression of they're happy, but literally they are not. Children and animals are very sensitive to nonverbal communication. The baby, they're reading and get connected, and the first impression of emotions come in mainly when they look at mommy's face. Yeah, and this connection is between the eyes. And what is very important is the human eyes clearer. As you see, they are white. Comparison to other animals, they don't have this whiteness around the eyes so visible as a human. So we can communicate just with eyes. There's a power. This is a power that other animals in the kingdom of animals, they don't have it. We have it. This white around the eyes. You see, I'm making a surprise face, I make angry face, and we can look up, down, on the side. There's so much information you can say when you look in your person's eyes. It's very important. Human, we progress so much because we have ability to communicate without words. And actually, for a very, very long time, we did communicate without words. Yeah, and we need to bring this practice because non-verbal communication, eye communication, just a sound, tone, so practice it with different words. Theory is a theory. Trying to find more, read more books, find more, follow some emotion, non-verbal specialist who will teach you more about these little tricks and practice. Just look around and look after yourself and try to understand what exactly you feel. One thing, what you say, because you have to say it because of the money, of your living, or because of your status or something, some of your values. You say that, and different what you truly feel about it. So don't lie yourself. So why do emotions exist? And the adaptive function of emotion, why we need emotions, and why humans, they're so emotional. We're not only human emotional, animals as well. The elephants, very emotional. They do cry. They have a sadness. They do cry. And dogs, and they have a lot of animals have emotions. We need them. But human, they have very strong emotions. Emotions, is biological tool for survival, and of course they have negative emotions overwhelming us much more because they are much more significant for us to survive. And what we do, negative emotion is like protection tool, and our brain train us at all the time to see the danger, to survive, and teach new generation from the danger. And each emotion has evolutionary purpose. So the fear helps to avoid the danger. So if you're scared, because that's why you're not going there, because genetically as well, we understand it. We have genetic material saying that don't do that is fatal. Anger is mobilizing defense, and they stimulate this adrenaline and I would say anger can do good and bad. Sometimes it might give you like a hero. You can go and do something extraordinary, but normally in normal state you never do. So for that we need this anger to do something extreme, I would say. Sadness invites reflection, because you get much calmer, you're not very communicative. This is a time for yourself, for meditation, for mindfulness, to get connection with yourself, to understand where you're headed, and process as well your emotions. Disgust refrain from harmful substances, mainly the smell, and we just disgust. It's just awful. And face usually very unpleasant. And we needed to make sure, again, just go away from unpleasant, smelly place, or stuff is not tasting good, will be disgust. And happiness reinforce beneficial behavior. And it's only tiny little, it's only like 15-20%. We experience happiness, but they need to remember the happy moments, and they need to cherish, they need to celebrate these happy moments, isn't it? So that's why humans done so many rituals for happy moments. They have so many celebrations. They celebrate birthday, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Easter. They create this gathering of happy moments. And if you will see, actually, in terms of days, there will be around quite little amount of the time, isn't it? It's around 15% only of what the human wants to get more. So we need to mask negative emotion with happiness. Emotion drive us for decision making, mainly negative emotions. So it's very important to learn, identify negative emotions, understand where they come from, and name them. Yeah, because there's so many words they're simply even not aware about. Our dictionary usually quite poor about. They know these sad, angry, basic words, but they don't know under classification, I would say, about our emotion. And the emotion, they're not random, so they're coming from somewhere, and it's very important to identify where these emotions come from. And here I need to mention that body is the first, metabolic health comes first. So that's why medicine here and biology of our body plays a crucial role. You need to identify, where is my emotion, sadness, anger, anxiety come from? Is it coming because of my physiological needs, or is coming from outside? So inside a factor, stimulus coming in, or is outside factor? This is number one, what we need to do. So let's talk about history. So in terms of emotions, it's been back as 9th century by Abu Zaid. He described already emotional disorders. So in 9th century, Persian scholar and physician, he noticed that we need to characterize already psychological and mental well-being and emotional disorders. They come in a little bit too much, so the person gets obsessed by negative emotions. And that obsession mainly, so the mean is going out of normal, is a fear and anxiety, as anger and aggression, sadness and depression, and obsession and intrusive thoughts. So the people or person get obsessed, and negative emotion taken over, and that need to be treated. And this is, I would say, modern, the treatment what he recommended was the basic of cognitive behavior therapy that they're using nowadays. So acceptance and commitment therapy and different sub-branches of movement. Historically as well, I would love to mention about nostalgia. Nostalgia is emotional illness, and you can imagine over 200 years ago, the people were dying from nostalgia. And the 17th century up to 19th century was very popular, and people being diagnosed with nostalgia, and that being classified as medical illness. So usually it was the fact that the people who was taken away from their home, from loved ones, there will be soldiers, immigrants, and orphans, and the children being placed in different families or care homes. And symptoms were severe emotional pain, fatigue, anorexia, or even death. So people couldn't be back. They was not able to cope with negative emotions. They didn't receive this love and care and positive emotions they at that time. And as a result of metabolic health changes, they could not eat, they could not drink, they could not sleep, and as a result of exhaustion, and organs get weaker as people were dying from nostalgia. So emotions that strong, and they're playing that crucial role for all of us. But that being last death, I think, was, as I know, was during World War I, so it's over 100 years ago. And the technology changed, letters, ability to telephone, and of course now social media, everything changed, but we don't have nostalgia anymore. So we're not dying anymore from nostalgia in comparison the feelings of grandparents 200 years ago. But we have new challenges with social media, bring us digital alienation. So yeah, it seems like I'm present, you can see, but you can't feel. So that's new challenge. We have a very shallow interactions. We have only this 1 minute cuts, and you see on Instagram, on TikTok, is only a few seconds attention. They get overwhelmed by emotions, by the colors. And as a result, they become very lonely. They're emotionally unavailable. They get scared and they withdraw because we can't cope, because we don't have any more skills how to cope relationships, because they're getting overwhelming for us. And today nostalgia is more melancholic and aesthetic, and is not lethal. So if you move your country, you still can give video call, you can record video message, you even can create these alive images from the past, isn't it? So we can use our vivid imagination. However, it's not the same as emotional language, as the same presence, the missing. I encourage everyone to stop using gadgets during the family time, leave them somewhere, and disconnect, and not checking your emails, remove your notifications on your phone, and stop checking your phone. So mental well-being now getting alertness such a high level as never. Children getting as well, not getting enough, young generation, emotional connection and this emotional closeness, because the time when they should play together and get interactive, they're spending on gadgets, on iPhone, on phones, or on tablet or computers, computer gaming, and they're not really losing this ability of emotional language. So cultural evolution, emotional experience is past emotions and present sensitivity. So that means the early generations, let's say, then before even, let's say before tele, because tele should change the world as well, isn't it? Before tele, people were interacting, playing games, they're physically present. But then television being introduced, people were sitting and watching tele. That was the first disconnection. They'd been already the good, I would say, 3 generations back, or even for some people 4 generations back. That's a long time. Then tele was presented, even though it was that people watching just image, black and white. And then it was become color, then it started having speech, and technologies grow. But what's important here, they have a less and less physical ways of connection or represent emotions, so we're losing that, and it's danger. So we need to bring this back. We're losing emotions, we're losing so physical presence and physical part of emotions. But the emotion nowadays are more medicalized. So if you experience too much, the doctors majority prescribe antidepressants, or they're trying to, it's alcohol, artificial drugs, it's smoking, it's vaping. It's so many, it's sugar. yeah, sugar playing crucial role, glucose. They overeat this our emotional needs, and the brain gets some sort of wrong signals. So it's digital cured. So we want to see some positive 3-second exciting 3 seconds, and swap them one after one. Losing attention, so you can't concentrate as well. Watching some presentation for longer periods of the time, getting harder and harder. So media, political and cultural norms are changing. Emotion, their construction, the brain. So how they build these blocks. When we're born, they're clear. So we don't have emotions. Baby born actually giving these reflexes in terms of breathing is a noise. That more, I would say, reflex, rather emotion. And baby building up this emotion block with the mother. They start to recognize emotions, the vision, the brain start develop, and together with brain development start to develop these basic emotions. So basic emotions get developed by all the humans without brain development, but all our emotions after that, we have to learn, we have to experience them. And so they constructed. So block one by one, by experience, by interpretations, and by language. So yes, emotions, that's why the war has always been there and will be, because the people experience different emotion to different events. Depends on the country, depends on the religion and your language, what you use. The people will be slightly different. They have different feelings and express these feelings and emotions differently. So, the 3 main ingredients of emotion. First ingredient is our body. And probably already talk about the importance of the gut and brain axis. They produce a lot of serotonin, and this is number 1 place. And of course, emotions about hunger and society. When they're hungry, getting more anxious, they are more they're more angry, they have experienced a lot of negative emotions, if you like. So watch what you eat and when and how. This is we need to learn, because our body is number 1 predictor. If we have a pain, if you have discomfort, if they malnutrition or dehydrated, that all the bring us negative emotions. So that's why nowadays modern diet or set standard American diet, the United States and United Kingdom are so rich in ultra processed food, sodas, Coca-Cola, and processed, high in carbs, all that killing our gut and making us overwhelmed with negative emotions, and these negative emotions coming from the body. Then they have a brain. So internal body sensation, so negative emotions come from, as I said, for the gut, and the gut have brain axis, skin axis, lung axis, heart axis, and actually the gut connected to everything. So, and all that in general after that go to the brain and giving the signals. So what brain does? So brain constantly predict. So emotion is brain prediction of nearest future. So yeah, this is how the brain works. So if you get hungry, you get angry. Why? Because your brain predict that you need a food and need to be a little bit more active, a little bit more stimulus to get the food. If not, your organism is not going to survive. So you experience more negative emotions and you're concentrating more on how I can get that nutrition, how I can provide to myself. This anger, anxiety about the future. So get anxious if you don't have a food in your fridge and you don't have a food or something. And your brain predict. So do I need to worry much or not? If it's nothing happening, you don't do anything, and so many different factors involved, you get this prediction of instability, is predictions of constant anger, and that's it. You're stuck in the circle of the stress. You're not getting out. So prediction, brain guesses, emotions, fits the situations. So what's going on? The brain trying to figure out, do I need to worry? Do I need to worry, etc. And then we're going to learn how to manage it. And concept machinery or memory. and your memory based on memories of previous events already happened, and the brain tried to recall and link your memory to current situation, and as a result making this emotion of the moment. So this is 3 ingredients, and now let's talk about prediction. So your brain constantly trying to predict scenarios, and where is error or is not error. So the different words, there's no, you just can predict. And prediction coming from experience, what's around us. It just is not a reaction, it's predictions of nearest future. Emotions are shaped before you feel them. So you don't see it, you don't understand that. But if you get hungry or you need some physiological needs, you have some surges of some needs, your brain already predict different scenarios, where you should be, what you should say, what are the options. And then finally, you doing that. You get into the action, because brain already predict different scenarios, what's going to happen, what you do. Oh, you're hungry, you have to do X, Y, Z. Or you need to go to the toilet because you need to do X, Y, Z, and everything already pre-mapped. With different words, our brain live in the future, but you live in the past. Yeah, so brain already knows what's going to happen. My brain already probably knows what I'm going to do tomorrow. Just calculate all the predictions. I'm going to sleep. The brain as well put everything again. You do the X, Y, Z, and then finally I'm making actions. So, but I'm the victim. So I'm living. My conscious me and conscious you. We live in the past, if you like. Yeah, but our brain already in the future. Our brain is natural moments. So different words, we all live in nearest future. Yeah, so that is approximately reality and the error. So this is what we have right now, and our brain trying to calculate all the possibilities. What will be right decision, what will be wrong decision, and then constantly working on that. So then we didn't experience something, we don't see it because we don't know, we can't recognize the pattern. So it's very, very important. And in psychology, we call it experiential blindness. So we're all blind. If you concentrate on something one because of all the urges or because of experiencing something new coming in, or something, we don't see it. If you never experience some emotion or some action before, it might be manipulation, it might be words, or it might be different sort of crime, whatever, so many things. We didn't experience that. We're blind to that. We're not immune, so we don't see the problem. So that's why experience here playing crucial role. One, you see it once, your brain fixing it, yeah, and remembers. So more experience you get, more you read, more you watch, more you hear, yeah, so it's music, it's different experiences, and of course emotion, more emotion interactions you will have, meaningful interactions, the less blind you will be, the more you will notice, and easier for you will be to recognize the pattern of actions. One of the best studies about unintentional blindness will be the Invisible Gorilla study. I want to leave it to you to go through to understand what this study is all about. Is available on YouTube. What you don't expect, you don't see. So it's a great study, but I want you to go through. I don't want to tell you too much about it. I want you to experience. Please find the Invisible Gorilla study and watch it to the end. So now, when brain prediction go wrong, predictions, errors are creating this emotional confusion. So yes, as artificial intelligence, they based on very similar pattern as our brain works, and ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence do mistakes as well, up to date. They get angry because they think we are human, they can do the mistakes, yeah, but they can't, but actually we're much, much smarter than artificial intelligence. When predictions don't match reality, creating some sort of errors. So they understand that something doesn't match. For example, we can go so many different examples. And large errors form new memories. And these memories might be quite long, depends on the importance and depends on our trauma, how they affect on our well-being. Mistakes, with different words, majority of our memories were linked to mistakes. Yeah, so brain didn't predict too much happiness, for example, and they remember because it was a big mistake. So the bigger mistake of your brain that they didn't expect and it's happened, the longer memory and the better memory you will bring to the end of your life. So something very good happened and you didn't expect that. Your brain could not imagine that can happen in your life. You remember it quite a long time, or something bad happening as well. The brain trying to remember. The small errors here, there, you might, they're not for, they tweak, they make little alterations in the memory, but not affect them too much. So that's why, if you know something very good happens to you, you probably didn't expect it. So that's why you mark and you remember those moments so much. The smile, your happiness, and less we expect something, the better is that effect on us. Yeah, so they're different words. Then you don't expect a surprise, I would say, the more memories you'll have. So if you want to get connected or creating good memories, make sure there's more surprises, more something that you keep it intrigue, positive intrigue, not negative intrigues. Yeah, not lies, not something behind the back, because betray and cheating, for example, as well, that lies, aren't they? Is the huge brain error. Another opponent person trusts you and they don't predict that you will do something. If you have experience or you feel somebody cheat, sometimes saying, it's because you do the same. No, it's because of experience, because person probably experienced that before. And to work on this, only create different memories. Yeah, with time, this brain start making different predictions. So, and this is called trust. Yeah, trust is then your brain to start with making predictions, or positive or negative. It really depends on previous history of your life experience. But in the time, your brain gets relaxed and making right decisions. So that's called trust. So trust is when your brain have a more positive experience and making positive predictions of nearest future linked to you. So unreliable nature of memory. So what here is important to say, the memory is not reliable and there is no reply. So because memory actually based on our emotion. Yeah, we recall not possession, not description, not colors. The main way how we remember our feelings, and we persist these feelings at over time. And memory is dynamic, is not stable, and is at all the time changing. With different words, changing every single night. So that's why if you want to be precise as possible, please sit and write down this event on the day of the event. They will be the most precise, because tomorrow your emotions will be already less negative, yeah. And with every single day, your memory getting, the nature of memory will change. So why is it dangerous to revise in your trauma or your negative experience from the past? Scientists warning people that is ethical question now. Is there really need to dig back in traumatic events in therapy, or better to leave it and rebuild and rewrite new positive experiences and leave the past in the past? So that's why try not to ask about the past. Try concentrate on present and try to build this prediction of positive future with your partner, with your friend, with new relative. And with existing relationships, trying to leave the past in the past. Don't dig too much the past. Because first of all, why? The past already, the emotions changed since reality. So that will be not the truth. So you're going to ask what happened with you 10 years ago. God, and the majority of the time, most likely, that will be a lot of untruth in the words. So why we need to say lies? It's lies, isn't it? We live this emotion. The emotion changed, and emotion being reshaped by other emotions that happened during our life experience. So that's why, if you know the trauma, so psychologists and counseling and therapy now discussing what is the right way, including lifestyle medicine specialists that talk about the long past and past traumas, might be with severe precautions and very, very carefully. And we needed to not create a new suffering. And if a person experienced a lot of negative emotions after trauma, that experience might be even worse. So we may possibility we can make it even worse than a trauma being originally. So we need to be very careful about it. So, as I mentioned, I want to talk about sleep, because sleep is number one place when we regulate our emotions. I would call it live a second life. Is that important for us? It's teaching us, is reflect, is deleting emotional noise, and is helping us to concentrate and weaken negative emotions, because they've got so much. Majority of our emotions are negative, so we need to process them. So deep sleep is the brain emotional detox. Deep sleep is crucial and very, very important. During deep sleep, literally our brain tidy up and clean up our thoughts, emotions, memory, and actually it's very, very important process. As we know, it's not about the sleep today lecture, it's about the emotions, but deep sleep and REM, rapid eye movement, dream phase are crucial for emotions. This is the literally what happened during deep sleep. The brain go into much slower state of the waves, and theta waves, what they do, they slowly reducing memories in intensity of negative emotions. With different words, negative emotions like anger, anxiety, fear, getting softer. So that's why when you're waking up next day, that you don't experience that bad emotions anymore. It's much, much weaker. And brain, what it does is replace emotional experiences to reduce the intensity, like a neural washing machine is just washing up and taking away all the dirt away. So the sleep is the best meditation. So meditation, of course, great, but meditation can't replace sleep, mainly deep sleep. So REM sleep is another part than the dream. This very important, crucial is emotional storytelling without fear. Because when we sleep, I don't know, you know that we get in REM phase, we're paralyzed. Our body is just paralyzed, but the eyes and visual part is eyes are moving. So that's why we called originally being rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement. So there is no movement of the eyes, and eyes going very, very quickly and moving around. So in the REM phase, the brain reactivates emotional memories with unique twist. There is no adrenaline, so there's no fear. They're not scared. There's not the same as in real life. Events are reshaped. They're placed in new storylines and they're connected to the broader areas. So what it does is create all these areas and all the possibilities for believing these emotions again. You probably noticed that sometimes you got this feeling that, oh, I have been here before. Oh, I feel like I've been here or something. That situation already happened with me. That's the dream. You don't remember this, but you recognize the pattern and you think this is maybe happened with you long time ago. Maybe that's happened with you in another life, but literally it's happened with you in a dream. You just live this emotion, and look at so many stories per night. so many training, if you so many your brain predict already so many different scenarios. And what here is important to mention is about romantic relationships and love. Before puberty, we all have this image of our loved one as the romantic partner, because this is how nature trying to get ready for us to create, to get attracted so strongly to another gender, to have children, and to get close, get mad and crazy, and women and boys and girls. So from 9 to 12 to 11, depends on the age groups, we all have the dream about this image of our ideal woman. Is more like mature. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe celebrities, maybe, I don't know, Freud is more about sexual desire to the mother or father, but this topic is not that clear. But anyway, it's some sort of figure of opposite gender, the person fall in love. So, and this already exists in the brain. And then during the night time, during the sleep, you have already different scenarios about your potential future love partner. And then when you get an older, or even that age, you start to meet, isn't the first love starting approximately like a stronger first love, actually before puberty or during the puberty, the falling in love, and that strong feeling, very important. And where it's come from, your brain recognized the pattern, your brain already recognized and create a lot of neural firing in the brain, because they recognize the pattern. They understand what's going to happen. That's the one. And these neurons are so sharp. They can't sleep. They can't eat. They change and are so incredibly that, so we can't resist with different words. Yeah. And all this happening during your sleep. So during dreams, they dream about it. The brain already predict who is she, how she looks, what she does. And we've got so many dreams about it. And then finally we meet this in the life. I think that's it. That's her. I know it is. Yeah. Because your brain recognize, and you had heartbeat. You have all the symptoms of all the system get activated. Yeah, with different words. And that's happening not only about romantic partner, that's happening about different events in our life. And you have a feeling, I have been here before. And now approximately the science explain that. It's very hard to do research of the dreams. Because we do sleep, we don't remember, so we can't really, it's a hard job, but it's fascinating. So I can recommend you different books, and I will record special lecture about dreams and about love, how of the brain creating these predictions, and how do not miss, and how to take right decisions based on these emotions, and how to recognize it. So the memory is not what we think. So we think the memory is super good, but it's not. The brain remember differently, is not the same. Or they think that they have a picture and they have a Xerox, they do a photocopy, and our brain remembers like that. No, not at all. Sleep does the job. First of all, is creating everything memories by relevance, by our values, by the things what we love, by the other emotions. So if you want to remember everything, you have probably abnormal problems with your with different stuff, with sleeping, or the way how the brain works. And memories are not replayed like recordings. They constructed and they influences by the dreams, by your mood, by the meaning, and by your own values, what's relevant for you. So that's why you remember and you catch information, even from the lecture. When you listen, for example, my different lectures, you remember some words because they're relevant for you. So notice what you remember. Yeah, because we remember, maybe I would say maybe around 10%. And it's normal because you will remember only what's relevant for you, and all of us will be different. There's something will be super interesting, something will be very important for you. You remember that, and you might be excited to learn this a little bit more. So REM help us with that, because one of your very important emotions, they try to reply, creating these arrows and different scenarios. We live in these emotions. Yeah, so because it's interesting, you got some emotional response. You remember that. So that's already number one, is relevant for you. You want to remember, you want to learn a little bit more. The more you learn about your field of interest, the more you remember. And the REM phase and the dream phase and the night help you to achieve that goal and to filter, is that relevant, not relevant? Sometimes you get excited, you think, oh my God, yeah, so interested. And then after a few days, you think, God's sake, no, it's not interesting at all, it's boring, is it dull? Because your brain actually, during the sleep in a few days, process your emotions. Are you sure you want that? Are you sure you want to proceed? So before taking very important decisions, don't rush. Have a nice deep meditation, nice deep sleep, good sleep, and then try to remember your sleeps. And the tricks here will be just take a glass of water before you go to bed and concentrate on the event you want to think about. So concentrate, think about it, and then you might wake up, with idea. You recall your dream, so remember it, trying to record it, and that's it, the answer to all your questions. So, because your brain trying to predict, this is what your brain at all time does, is creating at all time mistakes, clearly, but they're trying to find the best scenario in the future. So, and the sleeping in REM is like simulation lab. Sometimes we have a lot of nightmares, and the brain trying to teach us what you should do in this situation. Because it's so many different situations in our life where you sleep, your brain trying to place all the possibilities. And you know what's the most common nightmare, I would say, what happens, possibility simulation, is when people late on exams. So as a teenagers and young adults, I remember myself, my final exam in medical school, I saw the dreams so many times, revisiting dreams about my final exam. The most common, you're late for exam, or you was cheating and somebody caught you and you to repass, or you failed your exam, or some negative usual emotions, and you live in this emotion because that's so important. Your GCSE, A-levels, your university qualifications, your wedding, I would say, never is very, very stressful. You get they're so excited about the event that we get so overwhelmed, and they have a lot of different dreams about it. So, but the exams day is the winner for majority of them, because we passed the exams and they got overwhelmed by emotions. What's going to happen if I'm late? If I'm not going to pass, if I fail these exams, and how my life will unfold after that. So it's predictions. So it prepares you, for not to be very, very. So it's good if you failed, you after that you're just a little bit calmer, because you don't have no adrenaline, so much stress when you leave already that situation. In case if you failed. So in case any bad event happened, your emotion gets a little bit prepared, and you're a little bit prepared for them. So REM sleep as well, deep sleeps clears bad signals. So it's very important, both, and deep sleep and REM. And REM sleep imagine better futures, because we don't experience so much negativity. So every single negative event, not that negative. So that's why we remember they're more colorful. Here is important to maybe think about the colors of your event. Is darker color more negative? More colorful is a little bit more positive. How you see people and what exactly you see there. So sleep make you wiser. So that's why if you're angry today, don't take important decision at evening. Just go to sleep, have several sleeps, record what you feel, have a little bit more, maybe 3 nights, I would say, quite good enough to calm down. In 72 hours, that was the golden standard for decision making and process your emotions. So that's why we need a day and night, so 3 nights approximately, before you take this right decision. So that was the end for today, is introduction emotions, because I want to talk more about negative emotions and about the way how other topics about emotions. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you start to learn about emotions a little bit more. You start dream more and predict your future and get connected with your future from now on and control it.